Okay, to create a race game type, you want to go into your Forge, obviously, and choose your map, your race map, providing you've already made the race map, obviously. You can always do this just on Forge World, following the same instructions while you're making your map. That's up to you, but I prefer to make the map first and then get the spawning and things and checkpoints done. So you choose your map, and then you want to get into your race game type. So select race on your game type. And start your game. And once it's loaded, just go over to the area that you want to make your first spawning in. Yeah, so your first 3 spawn points in. As you see, I've spawned like at the wrong area completely of the map. There we go. So this is my simple spawning room. Everybody in the game will spawn here. Just start off with an initial respawn point, just because that's where people spawn at the start of the game. Just keep everything the same in that, apart from going on to advanced options. You want to make that game specific true, and the game type label to race_spawn. Okay? Now you just want to do that for all your initial respawn points. You can make as many initial respawn points as you want. I'd recommend going on to 16. I'd do 16, but just for this demonstrational video here, I'm just going to make 3, because the game mode will work with just 1 or 2, providing you only have 1 or 2 players on your map. If you have more than 1 or 2 and you only have 1 or 2 spawn points, people will obviously respawn somewhere stupid in your map, and you will just not be able to play it properly. I always put respawn points in anyway, just in case for some reason people do not make it to the first checkpoint. Again, you just make that advanced race_spawn game specific true, and leave everything else the same. Just ignore everything else. It's that simple. Now, you want to go onto your first checkpoint. You can choose any of these, any objective menu based ones. Flag stands, capture plates, hill markers, any of these you can use. I always use hill markers because they're very, very simple to use. They're not actually visible in your game, so people don't really get annoyed very much at them. You can always change the radius of the of your checkpoint there. There you go. And what you want to do is spawn sequence for your first one, make that number 1. Game specific true, and game type label race_flag. So that way this will be your first checkpoint. It will be only for the race game type, and it will be a checkpoint in your game, is what each of these mean. So that's number 1, so obviously the next one will be number 2. Change your radiuses as well, as much as you want, doesn't really matter, as long as it's on the map itself and people can't get to it. I prefer to make mine the entire size of the track, just so that people don't have to be at any certain place at any given time when they come up to the next checkpoint. Now, just keep neutral teams, everything just neutral. Spawn sequence, if it's just always count on from your next spawn sequence. So if your last checkpoint was checkpoint number 1, this will be checkpoint number 2. Game specific again, just true. Game type label race_flag. Simple as that. Then move on to your next. This one will be number 3, and so on and so on. It's that simple. Width, length, bottom, anything you want to do. Really does not matter. And you can always change this as well. Just the shape of my map's a bit weird. Then you go to advanced again, spawn sequence number 3, game type label race / flag, game specific true. That simple, just that simple, and then you go on and just place as many checkpoints as you want. I think there's a limit to 100 checkpoints in order, so you can only get 100 checkpoints in order. But if you think you're going to have more than 100 checkpoints, for example here, you can always start off spawn sequence as negative anything you want. So negative 20, negative 30, negative 40, 50, 60. Here you go. So maximum of 100, and then you get negative 100. So if you want to, you can always start at negative 100. I usually start at that, so that I'm not restricted to as many checkpoints in the map. But it's totally up to you. If you don't, I mean, not many people have got a big enough racetrack to place over 100 checkpoints, and after your 50th checkpoint, it starts to become boring for whoever's racing on the map. Trust me, I found out in this track there's something like 60 on this track when it's actually made. So yeah, I tend to put death barriers in as well, making racetracks, kill boundaries, just because I like people on the track and not glitching it, driving around on the train. It's just very idiotic. I also like, just because I'm weird, I just like to make things look as though physics is actually holding the map up. I've done that as much as I could with the objects in this map. And yes, this map is modded. The modded map, the template of this map is available in the description, and so is this map itself, the completed version of this map, just in case you have got confused. Just in case you've got confused, you can always go on this map, look at how I've made it, looking at the advanced options of the checkpoints and respawn points, and even you can play with your friends on it. The game supports up to 16 players, so you can play as many people as you want on Warthogs, Mongooses, any vehicle that the game supports. On this, I tend to use Warthogs because they're much more fun. You get to hit people off the side of the tracks as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like the video if you liked it. Thank you very much.